Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KeSPA Cup 2020/21. Game number 1 is over. If you're just joining us, it was a quick one. DAMWON certainly made very short work of that. I think that there were differences in the draft that could have given them a bit of favor, but there were also just differences in the players in that one that were on display. It didn't really feel like it was very close at all in any lane at any stage.
No, certainly not. I mean, even Rich was getting solo killed in the top lane, and it was just out of control. Things spiraled very, very quickly when Canyon just grabbed the game by its
the haunches, if you will.
By the haunches, indeed.
Yeah, it was one of these situations where we saw like an old counterpick against the Ornn in the Mordekaiser come through. This was something that only worked in China, and it worked very well in China. But here in Korea, we didn't really see it working out. It was actually Ornn favored in a lot of those situations. This time, definitely working out for the Mordekaiser, kind of sort of showing us, you know, what he learned in China, I guess.
Yeah, despite Peanut giving a lot of attention to that lane because the bot side was just unsalvageable. So still did fine, still went 4-1-1. At least that was the last scoreline I saw before like the last team fight that it just didn't even matter when they won the game. That was the last scoreline I saw for Mordekaiser for Khan up in the top lane.
I think he got like maybe 5 more kills than that or something.
Might have been.
That. But things... I stopped looking at the scoreline at about 15 minutes because it was sad, Wolf. I just decided that wasn't going to be a thing.
Yeah, we don't do /FF in pro play anymore. I haven't for a while, but
I still don't know what the rule is. I actually don't know whether there's a rule against it, but we just haven't done it for like 5 years.
It just simply isn't done. But as we switch sides here, Atlas, the question becomes, does NONGSHIM just ban the Graves and take an early Olaf for Peanut? Because that seems like a solid blue side plan here for NONGSHIM, because I don't think, as good as Peanut is on the Graves, I feel like that's not stylistically what's going to work for him in this matchup against Canyon, and that was the defining matchup that gave DAMWON such control over the map in the early game, the bot lane especially.
Yeah.
So,
and also just like, it's sort of like the whole game was lost based on that, because when you have so much pressure in all of the lanes, and you have Canyon as your jungler gets nothing, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're supposed to play around this. They are going to ban the Zoe away from Showmaker, as Samira is finally going to be banned. It's going to be the last one off the rank.
They're going to take
the Graves. They do get the Graves, okay. And now Canyon gets to play Olaf into it, potentially.
Olaf is second most played champion when Graves has been taken away from him when he's on red side. I'm going to grab Ghost's Misfortune early on here as well. And there's also the opportunity for Canyon to save the jungle pick for a little bit later. They certainly don't have to lock it up right now with the Graves coming in, but if he does want to play Olaf, it has to be in this, in this first 3 picks. But I am curious. They're going to take the Syndra. That was not prioritized last game, but it has been their highest prioritized mid laner. 1 game of Lucian, as you mentioned. This is now the 8th game of Syndra for Showmaker. It was his first Zoe of the tournament.
Yep. And I only say no, not because it's, a bad pick or anything like that. It's just boring. Showmaker has just been playing so much of it that I prefer to see a little bit more gameplay and fancy moves, as that is the Alistar that we were seeing. KeSPA escaped the ban list this time, so she will be locked in here. You sort of see the purple cow and you think the purple lady's probably coming alongside it, and that is what happens.
Really risky pick, though, for the same reasons the Kindred pick was very difficult. Not going to be the tempo decider in the game, probably anyways, but can you survive against DAMWON well enough with the KeSPA pick to get to her item power spikes that happen much later in the game? She's so brittle, and you and I were talking about this a lot before the broadcast, but the pairing with Alistar means that she kind of needs to be babysat, which means you're not going to see Kellen roaming around the map with this Alistar pick so much. It does give them the opportunity now that the Olaf is locked in to do a little bit of lockdown on Barrel's supports. So Leona ban definitely expected here, you have to imagine. There it is.
There it is. The Echo ban, completely understandable as well. I think Orianna probably follows that one up, so we don't have the Orb versus Orb easy lane for Orianna to scale up in.
Yeah, there's only two mid laners in this tournament, Orianna and Syndra, and sometimes Zoe gets picked, even though I think she should have been picked a lot more this tournament.
And
she's
then
banned.
Maokai ban or Galio ban, I guess, comes through next.
Yeah, that's the support order. I suppose Rakan would be another option that we could see as well. in that list, but I think the Maokai is the safest, especially considering it's barrel that we're
And
talking
also,
about.
it's good into the Alistair, so that
Yeah.
makes the most sense. But Silas is going to be taken away. So
Interesting.
maybe a tree to be picked up here.
Yeah, but also maybe Bay's Twisted Fate. It would be the first time he played it, and the only time he's played this tournament was against DAMWON in that opening day match.
And it was not so good.
No, the teleports, the destinies were a little bit mistimed, a little bit misplaced, you could say.
Yep.
This Ornn looks like he's going to be locked in for Khan in the top lane. I'd like to see Bay get another chance on the Twisted Fate, though. I do think he's still quite powerful. He's been played a lot in Korea in solo queue right now on this patch. I'm going to see the Gragas first. So,
Yeah,
was banned last game.
Something that Rich has actually played a fair bit
He's
of.
really good at it.
Yeah.
Rich was very famous for playing high sustain top laners in Heroes of the Storm, and Gragas on this patch is very, very high sustain. He's just going to be safe up there, and it's basically hard to mess it up, this top lane matchup into the Ornn.
Yep. Also a very good team fighter, and Rich is a very good team fighter, so
All
makes
right.
some sense here. So what is going to be this final pickup here? This is where Bay has to make his choice. Is it going to be another Gragas Galio game? It could be another Gragas Galio game.
Yone is open, but I don't think he synergizes with Graves well at all. Rumble! I think that's fake. I don't think that's real, but I would love to see it.
I mean, it'd be fun, but I don't know. Okay, never mind. That is going to be Rumble. Is it going into the top lane? Is it going into the mid lane? Not entirely sure.
I mean, mid Gragas making a comeback?
I mean, it was extraordinarily popular in Season 2.
Yeah, it was really old, really popular pick back then, but we're going to find out right now. Okay, looks like it's going to be mid lane. There it is.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to run Graves in a lane because the minion wave trolls you to no end. So this is where it's going to be. So Bay is going to try and do his best to survive against Showmaker. I think taking a pick that is this low range is dangerous, but you do have a lot of lane control with the amount of AoE damage that you have, and your Harpoons are powerful, and Scrap Shield helps you take those trades.
I think in a different way, he is kind of Peanut's partner in crime for a lot of this early game, and he's going to try to just push waves and then rotate to the bot or top. Going to be roaming a lot. Because I think if you just sit in lane against Showmaker in this case, you're just, what are you even doing? Why'd you even pick this champion with all the other options available? Could have even just picked Twisted Fate. So
yeah,
I think it's a lot of this is going to be like Peanut trying to have a Canyon game. He's going to try to, in a lot of ways, emulate the aggression we saw from Canyon last game. And that's a bad sign, I think, going into this second map. Not very confident about this one.
Well, we'll see how it is going to go. Peanut, a very practiced Graves player, was on LGD throughout all of last year. So the shoe is now on the other foot. Whether it's going to work out is going to be the question. But I do like the change in thinking, right? They were like, let's play for the late game. Oh, that didn't work. Well, let's play for level 6. And they absolutely have a comp that does a lot of stuff at level 6 in their solo lanes especially. So looking forward to seeing whether this one's going to work out or not. Difficult to get out of an equalizer for a Syndra. So let's see how it goes as we get into game number 2 of the KeSPA Cup final. Right.
Well, you know, if nothing else, Atlas, we got a Rumble game in this finals.
We did.
Could be the hype. It could be the most hype thing about the whole series.
Oh, Peanut getting hit by the first undertow. That feels bad.
Certainly
Maybe
not.
get a redo.
Not ideal.
Suboptimal. Absolutely. This definitely feels like a game that DAMWON are going to have a little bit more of a hard time snowballing very early, though.
Yes.
So that is a fantastic change that NONGSHIM have made. Peanut has so much more flexibility with where he can be in the jungle as well. Doesn't need to worry about marks and things of that nature. Makes me a little bit anxious when I see Kindreds, especially up against junglers that are known for, you know, pathing extraordinarily effectively in the earlier stages, and we saw it just absolutely not work for Peanut in game number 1. So
yeah, I mean, show shick or no shick's what I always say.
I guess so.
We'll see how this bot lane goes as well for NONGSHIM, because I'm a little bit concerned again about Duckdom being able to get to the stage of the game where he's going to spike, which is going to take some time, especially against a pretty scary and frustrating lane to play Alistair into with the taunt available for Barrel.
Yep.
So he's just going to have to play really passively, and you're just going to see Ghost non-stop harass him.
Yeah, and you can see already they have complete control of this wave. They'll be able to get to level 2 whenever they deem fit.
And, you know, there's no... Even a headbutt is risky. Pulverize risky, you know, in this situation. So you just kind of have to sit back and farm and hope for that KeSPA spike that, you know, 2 out of 3 times in this tournament hasn't come.
Yeah, it really hasn't. She's been prioritized very highly. You understand the theory, but it's not quite working out. This fellow's breath coming through. Khan not with his healing charge yet available, so no CC. But you were talking about the sustain, and Rich definitely has that one in spades. So we'll see how Khan is going to do here. He already does have a decent lead when it comes to CS, but it doesn't really matter. It's just wave state mainly. As this is the lane that I'm curious about.
Yeah, this is the exciting one, right? At least so far, still to this point. We'll see how excited I am at this time. But
yeah. I see game 1 hasn't left your brain just yet.
Yeah, no.
Ooh, Ghost just missed a cannon creep, so NONGSHIM ahead.
There you go.
Well, they're behind, but ahead in that one instance.
Well, he's just so focused on harassing DAMWON. Those small mistakes come through. So they're just shoving this in hard. And this is the, see where the Rumble lane state is right now, where he's pushing it into the turret right now. Just kind of what I expected to see this matchup look like, even though it is Showmaker. And then he would rotate down and maybe, while this lane is pushed, put some pressure on, but it's obviously too obvious at this point in time, and Peanut was grabbing the top scuttle, so the timing of this push of the wave doesn't work out for that, but because of the, you know, lane priority, I think that, you know, if he was going bot scuttle, and obviously if Canyon was in another part of the map, that's an opportunity they would have had. But I think that this draft is trying to do in the early game.
Yeah, I think it's having a lot more lane control, and I'm glad that they made the adjustment, because they absolutely had to. Khan going to lose out on that trade as well, as, yeah, he might block the CC, but the body slam still doing some damage here.
If you just trade all the time non-stop as the Gragas in this matchup, you're going to feel pretty okay.
Yep. A good time so far. And KeSPA as well. I mean, he's been relentlessly shoving, which is exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, that's the idea with this. And then, you know, there's ways you can try to rotate the timing. Obviously, it doesn't work out for bot lane at the moment because it's actually now the first time being shoved by DAMWON. They're going to be aggressive.
Yeah, all right. Does manage to get a decent double pulverize, but that's a fair bit of damage now with the Make It Rain coming through in response. Feral very healthy, Ghost still quite low, but now Flash and Heal both having to be burned. So actually a big win here for the KeSPA Alistair lane.
Yeah, really nice. Actually, Feral getting a little bit desperate here.
Whoa, that's a big Flash. All right, headbutt to the wall for the mini stun. Flash comes out, not able to get the kill as Peanut is going to come in. Control ward right there, and they're just going to go for the 4-man dive onto Ghost. He has no summoners and no way of getting out as Bay looking to try and grab the kill for himself, but it's KeSPA that picks it up, and really good changes being made here by NONGSHIM.
This is exactly what you want with this Rumble pick. You want to be aggressive. You want to be shoving the mid lane, and then, I mean, obviously he's crashed on his turret right now, but you want to be aggressive. You want to make plays in the bot lane. You want to get that tempo advantage. And, you know, in this case, they give the kill to KeSPA as well, which is extremely nice for her to have that extra first blood gold 2 on top of it. Pick up a quiver right away. And even a refillable potion, which is going to be nice in this lane where you're just constantly getting harassed by MF. So this makes the whole laning phase for NONGSHIM so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
And this isn't enough in itself. They still need to do more, but things were looking rough and looking really hard for them. Now it's finally like they're ahead in this game. They have lane presence. Canyon looking to just swipe this one away. Helen does not ward the pit here, so actually has no idea. Not that he could have stopped it on his own, but
now knows at least.
Yep.
Also will coming out here by Showmaker. Spots out Bay. I like what they did immediately after that gank, actually, getting a whole lot of deep vision into the enemy jungle. Yes, it was cleared, but it also stopped Bay from being able to get to the mid lane for quite some time, as we're going to check out a replay. And it was just good decision-making here, understanding that, you know, there were teleports available and things like that. Kellen just going aggressive, as he does.
Yeah, as soon as the call comes in for him to be aggressive, he just flashes in. And this guarantees a split up of Ghost and Barrel, and Bay just comes in for that extra guaranteed damage, tanks the turret, and it's a clean up for DAMWON, who gets the first blood, and things are looking up right now. But there's a cost, right? Obviously, losing a lot of CS in mid is Bay, that move.
Yep.
And this tempo advantage they have still didn't grant them the first Drake. They lost the Infernal. So there still needs to be more done for NONGSHIM, but it's a good start.
And they do have a gold lead for the first time in this series. That ain't bad at all. Khan actually struggling a little bit against Rich, but can't really see it in the CS numbers, and Orn's pretty happy just to trade farm. See whether Rich and Peanut are going to be able to team up to try and get anything, as that's a decent pulverize. But Knockup coming back. No level 6s available for anyone here on the bottom side of the map other than Peanut, who's making his way in.
Just got it with the Scuttle as well, so just barely had it. But they're playing passive. They're respecting Peanut's Graves here, and obviously after what just happened, can't really blame them. This is actually looking nice for Rich, but as you said, it's still close enough, and Orn is happy to just CS away, unless Khan gets solo killed, which is extremely unlikely. Feel good about that.
We'll see how Canyon's going to be able to continue here. Peanut on the Hoover in Graves is able to scoop up about as much farm as the Olaf is. Both of them farming very, very quickly, of course. So back timing now for Canyon. We'll see where DAMWON go next. They do need to keep trying to get some advantages themselves, as power spikes are starting to come in here on the side of NONGSHIM. So this next Drake could be the fight. However, it's a Cloud, so maybe maybe not.
Yeah, it's I mean, they can grab it. I don't know if DAMWON will necessarily contest it, depending on the situation, but Graves obviously going to grab his own blue this time. I don't think he is going to share that with Bay.
Nope. It'd be Rich that'd get it, I guess, if anyone. So
yeah, I think he might just keep it himself, to be honest.
Yep. Wants to be able to make sure that he's going to be in the best position possible in the matchup.
Look at this timing, too. Bay pushed Showmaker's wave after Showmaker backed, and then he got kind of aggressive, tried to check to see if Canyon was near the Rift Herald, and now Peanut's actually starting this, and he's in a pretty nice spot here. Bay just rotates back, and Showmaker's kind of pinned down, so it's a little bit awkward for him to go and deal with it. So it looks like they're just going to get this Rift Herald for free. Pretty nice timing on this. Yeah,
well, Khan's going to ult you up towards the top side of the map. That's the barrel, but still, the Ram is going to get taken here as Khan flashes forward. Rich going to flash in response, and the Rift Herald actually going to reset because of that. Peanut coming up to help his top laner. No teleport for Khan, so it should be a man advantage here as they start this one up again.
Yeah, it was really nice for DAMWON to realize what was happening there, and instead of just trying to walk to the Rift Herald, because that was going to be, that was pretty unlikely to go their way, they put the pressure in the top lane instead, which forced a reaction out of Peanut, which still reset the Herald. Still going to get it here, but it's a really nice move. Very reactionary there from DAMWON.
Yep, I like the decision making. However, the result going to be the same, just no flashes on top laners anymore. Canyon retains his as he went back. He's got a Kindle Gem, very close to Gore Drinker being put together, but doesn't have it just yet. Cheeky little quiver there for Peanut. Not sure why you can put bullets into a quiver. Probably needs a bullet bag, but that's fine. Sometimes things don't necessarily work out. But now we've got a team fight potentially, and that's a level 9 Rumble.
And this is the timing you were talking about around this next Drake. 45 seconds to go on that. And teleports, the timing for this is actually not going to be great for the top laners, so actually you're going to see a back from Rich. I think they really want to force this fight.
Yep.
Khan is just barely not going to have that teleport when this fight ensues. But I think he's just going to be happy to take the top farm instead. I don't think they want to fight over this Drake, as you were kind of alluding to earlier.
I mean, they don't need to, and I think that this is a time where NONGSHIM are strong, so DAMWON, not a hell of a lot of onus on them to respond to any moves. As Justice Punch gets out of the way here as Kellen's going to get trolled. Headbutt gets him to the wrong location. Not really what you want.
So interestingly, Rich just went back and bought, and he's doing the tanky Aegis build.
Yep.
That we've seen from a few Gragas, not all, in the top lane. Excuse me. But it was actually Khan who rotated down for a moment, and the Drake is up. And they're just, the timing for this actually kind of works out for DAMWON. Scuttle's here, and
yep, some vision.
Yeah, vision, but
Canyon just continually dragging out this Drake. Okay, they are in vision. That was pretty cute from Canyon. Let's try and play around it just a little bit. Doesn't show up on the minimap. And they're just going to take it. So DAMWON, they're going to get the Drake regardless. And maybe a bit of a lapse in judgment there on NONGSHIM's side.
Yeah, it feels like all the tools and all the evidence almost that was on the map felt like they were really looking for just a quick take on the Drake, and then move on, right? It's not going to be a huge one. It's the Cloud Drake, as you said, but they just simply didn't fight for it, and they didn't gain anything on the map either. So DAMWON's like, okay, I'll take it, I guess.
Yep.
And they were almost even trying to bait a fight too, because like nobody's here. What's going on? That's why you saw little canyon tease there in vision, and nothing happens. So they said, all right.
Khan gonna check this brush, moves on down. Rich not gonna be able to take away any rocks or anything like that. Dr. and Ghost here together as Barrel's in the area. Teleport comes through from Rich, though they're looking for the Misfortune. Down to half health as there's the flash, but straight up misses the Barrel. That's a whoopsie if ever I've seen one. But Kellen's going to come round and try and right the wrong. He's going to be able to interrupt that bullet time as Showmaker turns up. So much CC as Ghost and Barrel immediately fall down. But Khan's going to be able to grab one back as now Bay's in trouble, but is going to be able to make it out to safety. Collateral damage, not quite enough. But in the end, still, definitely a good trade here for NONGSHIM Red Force.
Oh, no doubt. No extra kills for Dr. but he's going to pick up 2 assists worth of gold, and can obviously have control of this wave here as well. And I feel like the whole story of what NONGSHIM's potential is in the late game is told by KeSPA, right? And told by what Dr. is able to accomplish. And so far, a lot of extra gold in this early game. And it started off as a pretty oppressive lane against him, but they've made big plays to make sure that doesn't stay the case. As the Rift Herald goes mid, he got, I believe, an extra turret plate down here. So,
yep,
further some extra gold.
As big flashes forward, big stuns, Bay's dead. And just didn't need to be that far up in the lane, to be perfectly honest. But sometimes that is just a Rumble problem.
Yeah, it feels like sometimes it's a Bay problem as well with some of these lapses of judgment. He's a great mechanical player. We know that. We know that he knows what the right thing to do is. But he doesn't always do it, or sometimes he tunnel visions on getting a wave or pushing a lane, or I've got to teleport, but the timing doesn't work out, or he doesn't decide to do it until it's the wrong timing. It's going to be, unfortunately for Rich, a little bit of a mistake, but things could have been worse. It's actually ended up pretty good for them.
Zoning cast. We call that a party task, actually. Kellen, pretty heroic, honestly, in this situation. Just showing the power of Alistair. Despite the fact that he did fall down, still results in a really great trade.
Yeah. And the collateral damage, unfortunately, just not quite enough there. It was pretty close, though. Could have been even better had things gone a little differently.
Yep, both of our junglers now with their mythic items complete. Very close in scoreline and farm, actually, as the dust settles. Gale Force done, and the Gore Drinker done. And some free ass boots there on top of everything
the free,
as well.
the free boots, going to be pretty nice. But Graves, never one to pick up the Yeezys early.
It's like every position is super even apart from mid, where Showmaker's pulling CS in the lead.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of, roaming from Bay, a lot more than we're seeing from Showmaker. So that's the main reason why. But the value he's gotten from those roams, even though it's been decent, it hasn't been good enough.
No.
And this is going to mean that one of the late game fighters in this will actually be Showmaker, and one of the shining lights towards the late game, along with Ornn for DAMWON. So it's a little bit scary.
Night Harvester actually coming in here from Bay as well. It was Hextech Cookie. I was thinking it was either that or it was going to be the Dash Cannon, but decides to go with having a bit more sticking power, and when you're a Flame Spitter type champion, could certainly work. I like the Rift Maker as well, as the gameplay button comes down onto Peanut, but he's not going to die just yet. Showmaker not at quite enough damage, even though that Luden's Echo is complete.
Not quite there yet. He saw his life flash before his eyes.
Yeah, in the shape of some spheres.
Yeah, but no flash from him himself. He just walked away.
Yeah.
So gonna hold on to that one. This is a really scary moment for NONGSHIM, and this is one of those tough calls you have to make as a supporter. It's like, I know they've just stepped in and warded this. I need to go check, but I don't think I can right now because it's just not enough information. And you want to get it so badly, but you can't. It does not do that. They're going to push the wave instead to the turret, try to force a reaction because they do have that river warded with a control ward.
Yep. Showmaker unfortunately unable to get that siege minion. But Khan's going to make it over. I thought he might be a little bit late, but took him a little bit longer to clear out that wave than I was expecting. And now. A bit of a pincer move through from NONGSHIM. Let's see where the equalizer is going to go. As the ulti very early. Flash out from Khan as... Okay, Rich taking a lot of damage. There's the Ornhorn. We'll see where it goes. They find Doctarm with it. Now Khan looking to turn his attention onto Kellen. They've broken apart. NONGSHIM for the moment. Rich very, very low. And the Cow's going to go down first. But there's a lot of AoE damage here. Bullet time. Phenomenal positioning. Doctarm grabs the kill onto Khan. But in the back of the pit, the Rumble goes down. And Peanut and Doctarm not going to be able to do anything by themselves. Now that they're lacking a frontline. Peanut, quick draw, actually very quick on the trigger finger on that one. That's going to save his life at the moment. The DAMWON win out the team fight just with better positioning.
Yeah, it's positioning that wins them this fight. The bullet time is amazing from Ghost, and they split up NONGSHIM, as you mentioned, in the fight into 2 parts, so they weren't able to really consolidate their the fight into their favor. And unfortunately, Rich was super low on health early in the fight, so just not able to do anything more after that. And then it's like DAMWON, you either just walk away from them and let them have the Drake, or you take a really risky fight. And Doctarm actually was very far forward here, and that's kind of what started things turning around for DAMWON. As Doctarm's here, and he gets stunned, and then he's got to get out of there, and everyone else is like, I don't think we can close the gap. Rich is at half health, the taunt comes through, and Doctarm's doing what he can. But alone here with everyone else on the top side of the fight cut onto the other part, they can't heal for him, so he does eventually trade one back onto Khan. But the fight is over.
Yeah, I was wondering why I couldn't see the equalizer, and that's because half of it was inside a wall.
Yeah.
And often, you know, you get your value from good old Rumble out of where that ultimate goes, and it didn't go into a very good position.
It didn't go.
Yeah, it kind of just didn't. You're exactly right. I was like desperately looking for it the entire fight, and I was like, oh no, I messed up because I couldn't see it. But I don't think very many people could see it.
Yeah, I was just looking at Doctarm because I was so sure he was just going to get picked there. Even after getting that kill, waited in the brush for a second to see if somebody, namely Canyon, would walk a little bit too far forward and he could get a second kill there.
Yeah. Got red buff going to be thrown away here by Showmaker. We'll see whether they can actually kill that one in time. I
red
think
buff
they managed
kidnapping.
No, he's running back. Just a little bit too early on that one there, Showmaker. The force of will. His force of will is not quite strong enough. The Brambleback, it's a strong independent buff in the jungle, and he's going home.
Yeah, it's the leashing on some of these camps can be a little bit tricky. I feel like even pro gamers sometimes, misjudge them.
I feel like Syndra players, though, they all know. They know the thresholds, but unfortunately, yeah, not quite enough, and Peanut's going to be able to come and take it for himself. Definitely on the NONGSHIM side of the map.
Well, now the Banshee's Veil is done. 3-0-2 for Showmaker, who is almost about to grab this turret this early in the game for the comp that DAMWON is running.
And also just kind of like by himself as well. It's not like they've put too much emphasis on taking down that turret. It's just that Showmaker's had more time in the lane. As you can see, he's 50 CS in the lead at 20 minutes into the game. Not bad at all.
Yeah, he's very happy with the situation.
Yes.
As you can see, Doctarm is trying to grab some extra farm here. Nice dodge there from Ghost.
Yep. And gets the whole wave with his bullet time, saves that turret for another couple of moments. And he's looking to go home, grab some more items, see whether that Manamune is complete. No, Collector is just going to get shoved together here by Ghost. A little bit more on the investment banking side. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and the Gale Force as well on Misfortune, which has been, we've mostly been seeing Eclipse in this tournament, but doing it for a little bit extra mobility against the comp we're seeing, especially with how aggressive Rumble and Alistair can be. I like that. You can, definitely put yourself into a better team fight that way by just being safe and waiting for the perfect bullet time.
Stops you from getting just destroyed by Gragas and the Alistair too, with that extra mobility.
The cask, you can get out of there oftentimes, so I like it.
Like the idea, absolutely.
I mean, Gale Force, I was just going to say, Gale Force feels like it's just becoming the new item that everyone's going to build. Like,
yeah, I know. We've got 2 of them in this game already, and I feel weird that Doctarm didn't build it.
Yeah.
But of course, Kraken Slayer, very, very strong, paired up with the Empowered Q for Kaiser. So certainly an understandable choice. What I was going to say is that, Khan towards the top side, having a very comfortable time here, moving towards level 13. We're going to start doling out these cool new items.
Yep.
Very, very soon. The Gore Guzzler coming through.
Gorechug.
Yes. I guess when it's on Olaf, that makes a lot more sense. He's the wrong skin, though. Canyon's wrong skin. Needed to go with the Brolaf. In
Yeah.
fact, I think everyone should.
Small mistake, you know. Small misplay.
Yeah. Maybe they'll lose because of that. Doctor, he's going to find Barrel here. Void Seeker. Does find the Galio, but
Well, this
Magic
is-
Shield's going to help him.
Every single fight we've had around the Drake, which has really just been one big fight. The other ones were just like vision fights, basically. The last fight we had around the Drake, is what I should say, was just positioning based, and you know, we'll see where Duckdom ends up in this fight. He's in the same place he was last time. Khan trying to keep Rich out though.
Yep. And Ghost getting tagged there by the Void Seeker. That was pretty cute.
Peanut he definitely doesn't want to be here, I don't think. There's not much he can do. There's 2 wards squatting his every move as well.
Showmaker just trying to land what he can. Not exactly in position though, as Canyon's going to get chunked. Just a little bit. Remember, bullet time available, equalizer available. There are a lot of big buttons that we need to look out for here. As Canyon gets himself the Rift Scuttler and a bunch of his health back as well, which is very important.
Ooh, double stun, but no follow-up, unfortunately. But still, the damage is starting to add up here on this, once again, split in half NONGSHIM. And finally, Rich and Peanut are going to rejoin the bottom part of the fight. I think this is where they should have tried to set up in the first place, but for, again, another stun here on the Bay. They have a hard time getting a good equalizer from here.
That mid wave is now all the way shoved in as well, and Ghost is rejoined, so DAMWON actually winning out on the positioning battle by a lot, as in goes Callan. Does get a 3-man knock-up. The flash out from Showmaker gets him to the backline, but Duckdom chases him. Good exhaust is going to stop that damage from coming through, as finally Barrel's going to pick up the first kill. Flashes out of the way from everyone on NONGSHIM's side, and they tried it again, but it, once again, absolutely didn't work.
Yeah, the attempt there, the idea is really good, but Duckdom ends up on the other side of the fight with the Killer Instinct, tries to set up for the flank, and there's just a little bit of desync between the members of NONGSHIM, and with their health bars being already so low from all the poke they've been taking from Showmaker, just tossing in stuns and orbs non-stop, there's just no way to turn that fight, try to force anything. In fact, Kellen, when you see him come in, it's almost like, is that even the right idea? The stun is big, or the knock-up rather, is big, but he comes in, triple knock-up, he's super low, he walks out, you see Bay come in as well. Look at the Ornhorn.
Duckdom was exhausted before he even ulted,
Yeah.
man. It was crazy, the timing from Barrel.
It's just, I mean, it's too good.
That
And
was ridiculous.
That's a Cloud Drake. Second one, and it's the Soul, which is amazing for the composition they're running.
Oh,
They've got
wow,
an Ornn
yeah.
and an Olaf.
Yeah, so it's some rainy weather here in the forecast for NONGSHIM, unfortunately.
Terrible day for rain.
Yeah, not a great one. Although I don't think it's going to rain here in Korea. It's too cold. I think it'll be snowing.
Dropping ice on us.
Absolutely. Well, Bloodthirst complete here from Peanut. It's a new idea. It was Infinity Edge Collector for Cannon in Game 1, but just wanting to keep himself safer is Peanut. Can understand that, because it's been a very dangerous time on the Rift.
It certainly has.
Today, there's a sad B. It's going to get interrupted. Even the
That's
emote
just
game's
rude.
not working.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Ghost gets a beautiful double up. Gale forced over. Peanut's dead. Yep, we saw that one coming in slow motion. As Bay shouldn't have ulted there, I don't think, because that kept him in place. And then the bullet time killed him alongside Canyon's axe. Would have been dead anyway, probably, but that's a really good Justin Punch to come through from Barrel. It's going to keep Callan in position. Unbreakable Will is there, but it's going to get weighted out as now Duckdom, it's going to be his turn. Heroic entrance, just going to be used on the spot as the barrel is going to come down. Callan lasting for a very long time, and Showmaker will eventually fall down. But remember, Ghost is here, Canyon's here as well, and no one is going to survive this one. That's the taunt. Rich is going to go down, and that's going to be the ace. It was delayed, it was strange. That is going to be the ace, and it should lead to a Baron.
Definitely going to be the Baron here, and I mean, the desperation is real on the side of NONGSHIM once again. Hiding in brush, and you see, okay, Ghost is like, well, you really think you could pull a fast one on us? Canyon's here. Kellen, unfortunately, is just a little bit too desync. You mentioned the ult coming out from Bay. Unfortunately, I think he thought he was just barely safe, but he obviously wasn't, as we could see.
Yeah.
And then Kellen, he survives for a really long time. Unbreakable Will. Duckdom comes in for a really aggressive flank. And, you know, it looks like, okay, this is crazy, but it might just work. But unfortunately, it just gets cut off by the Ornhorn. And there's just no more damage here. Everybody has joined up. And it's a numbers game that you're not going to win, especially when your opponent has all 4 Drakes. And, yeah. It's hard for me to even, like, fathom, you know, what could go right again in some of these fights for NONGSHIM, because DAMWON are just one step ahead in the rotations, the macro.
And even, like, I feel like the comp has kind of ran its course a little bit on the NONGSHIM side. We do have the Typhoon put together from Ghost. Gore Guzzler not quite completed yet, unfortunately. But Khan does have one in the bank, actually. Gives it over to Showmaker.
It feels like, you know, the Rumble pick here was definitely a good idea. And the execution at the beginning of the game was pretty good, actually. But yeah, it's certainly not working anymore.
Yeah, it's a real sad beat there from Peanut. He's being honest with his emotes now as the bullet time just strips them of half of their health bar. Unbreakable Will's looking real breakable, actually, as Showmaker going to be able to grab that kill very comfortably. Minion wave or no minion wave. As Bay's given up, he's just trying to take a turret in the mid lane. And Rich going to do the same thing on the top side. But this is a Baron buffed up DAMWON Gaming. And there is no cow to try and save NONGSHIM as far as getting underneath this turret is concerned for DAMWON. And they will be able to break open this space very easily.
Cannon Minion is like 1 health, just doing so much work at the back.
Oh, the double cannon minions.
Oh, I mean, this might just be the last moments here in this game, feels like.
Equalizer just used on the minion wave, but it's actually for tanking. Oh, God. Okay, Peanut. Goodbye, my friend. And now the close-in of the Olaf. Rich going to get a bit of his health back there, and it's going to be all right. But Bay is he's defecting now. He's just trying to leave. Doesn't want anything to do with this game.
Sometimes the entrance to the base is the best way to leave.
He's flanking. He's picking up the minion wave. It's not what you want, but they do lose a turret, and they still have a siege minion here. Docdom is dead. I don't know really what happened. Yeah, game played, I think. As Beryl is going to be able to find the exhaust. Bay's real dead. Horn comes down. He's golden. He looks good. He flashes. He's dead.
Yeah, when you have Zhonya's on Rumble in a game like this, it's never really going to save you. It's never really going to turn a fight, but it will keep you alive a little bit longer.
Indeed.
Taunt on Rich, and
it's just they're a squad just going around and killing people one after the other. As yeah, the Nexus is exposed, but there's people to be taken on the map. And Khan, he's gonna die. In fact, it's a double kill for Peanut. Nice work there. His first couple of kills of the game coming through right as it's over. 29 minutes for that one. And now it's match point for DAMWON Gaming. Our 2020 World Champions, and now looking to be KeSPA Cup champions as well.
It was a very, you know, we saw game one, a little bit of a textbook style game coming through from NONGSHIM. Risky, but it was a very common strat. We've seen it a lot. We've seen Peanut play the Kindred a lot. Game two, they bring in the Rumble. They're trying something different. They have a secret strategy prepared. We talked about it before the game. They probably have some pretty unusual picks prepared because they know they're underdogs in this series. And the Rumble pick worked decently well in the early game, but they didn't capitalize on it enough. They weren't able to change the tempo enough to really push it through the mid game. And then after that, there were just a lot of really big disconnects and team fights, and DAMWON ran away with every single Drake. In fact, 2 they got for free just because NONGSHIM didn't really
They
check
weren't
or
there.
vision.
They didn't turn up to the agreed upon fight location, you know? Like their West Side Story clicking their way down the street, and there's no one there on the other side. I don't even know how that scene's supposed to work if there's only one team there. But that's what Canyon did throughout most of that game. And the Ocean Soul was, like you said, gifted over in the end. That first Drake fight, I think, was the big turnaround. And one thing that we can say is that NONGSHIM did way better this game than they did in game one.
Yes.
Things are definitely on an upward curve. However, it's still not quite enough to take down DAMWON.
I think if only one team shows up snapping fingers, I think you just have Spider-Man 3, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Oh, God. I'd forgotten that movie existed. There's been so many other Spider-Man franchises that we didn't have to remember that on anymore.
Yeah. No one's ever going to call another Spider-Man movie Spider-Man 3. Like, if they reboot it again and there's like the Spider-Man 2, they'll probably just call the third one, like, Spider-Man 2 Part 2.
Spider-Guy 3.
Spider-Man 4 soon.
Yeah, just skip it. And I think, you know, skipping game one in the minds of NONGSHIM was a good idea. I think they did so. I think it was a better draft. I think it was better gameplay in the early game. But when you've got a team as dominant as DAMWON and as smart as DAMWON and as coordinated as DAMWON, it's very hard to just keep winning, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so much more effort to play like this team plays by default and have been since halfway through 2020.
They didn't fight for the Drakes, which they needed to, that they just didn't have vision of. So just it's almost as if in those 2 Drake moments where they gave it up, they were like, well, we'd probably lose if we do this. And if you have that sort of attitude with the comp that you're running, why are you running that comp, and why are you, like, what's your game plan if you're not confident enough to even take a fight that you have a slight advantage to take in, you had control of that part of the map, and then it's just Canyon walking up being like, nobody's coming, like, really? Like, no, like, really nobody's coming. Is this real?
For free, I guess? I don't know.
Like, leash the Drake like 3 times before he's like, all right, well,
Here are some of the highlights. This is actually some highlights on the NONGSHIM side. I think Alan played this particular moment out very, very well.
A lot of these heavy rotations coming through towards the bottom side, really hoping to get DuckDom to that later stage of the game with the items he needs. And, you know, he did get the Kraken Slayer pretty early because of some of these early exchanges. It's a really nice jump in on this one, and see the turnaround here attempted as Ghost tries to bullet time, but fortunately Kellen is here.
Again.
Kellen is extremely aggressive. I think this guy's got a really, he's got a really strong season ahead of him in LCK. I think he's going to be one of the top supports for sure.
I think it was a bit sad last year. I believe he was on Gen G, and he was a bit overshadowed because Life had one of his better seasons, actually, especially in spring. So it was sort of hard for Kellen to shine. So I'm also excited to see what he's got planned for us. This
is one of these Drake fights where everything is going wrong. DuckDom is not in a position where he can really do anything. Peanut's lost half of his health from the Drake because he's stuck in the pit and can't get out. If he goes out the back, then the fight is over because he's not going to be able to do anything, so he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And this is essentially round 2 of the very same fight. This time it goes a lot better. Kellen gets a big knock-up. DuckDom is exhausted. He's on the other side of the fight, but has to retreat. And now, you know, it's a 5v3 because DuckDom isn't there. Peanut's super low. And this is just, I mean, sometimes you got to take a risk, hide in the bush, but...
Oh, sometimes you get that double up value, you know?
Yeah, this is just the end of the game right here, essentially. This is what leads to Baron, what leads to the push into the base.
And what leads to, like, the 1x1x1. And
Pace,
DAMWON just does basically whatever they would like. And then goes through the bottom lane once with the Baron buff and wins the game.
Rich teleports in here to try to turn this one around. The Ornhorn is perfect, keeps DuckDom out of the fight. Maybe in a different world, if DuckDom doesn't get isolated there, they might be able to make it a trade, but not going to happen. It's just, DAMWON thinks of everything. They're ready for every moment. And, I mean, really good Ornhorns throughout this game from Khan as well, setting this one up. What are you going to do here? I mean, you're just going to lose.
Please run is what you do. And Bullet Time just did so much damage. Okay, maybe that's why
Showmaker stayed in lane. You know, like you said, he didn't leave, he didn't roam. He got insanely ahead in farm, started getting a lot of kills.
He did double the damage of the highest damage dealer, who was Rich on the side of NONGSHIM. I was rounding a little bit, but still. It's pretty ludicrous, the amount of work that he did. However, it was a lot of poke damage, a lot of incidental damage that was often soaked by scrap shields and things like that. And of course, he's going to be poking out the Rumble a lot.
Yeah, doing almost 4 times the damage that Rumble did in this game, unfortunately. I like the idea, I like the creativity. I like that NONGSHIM is not just going to try to draft standard completely, or draft only around their comfort picks. They've brought specific comps to this Grand Finals, try to snipe some games away. It doesn't work out in this game, but for a little bit, it looks like it just might.
Yeah, Peanut unfortunately didn't do as much damage as Beryl that game. So there's a few things that we're going to need to try and sort out, and there's no better time than now, Wolf, because it's match point between DAMWON and NONGSHIM Red Force. DAMWON leading 2-0, and we'll see you for Game 3 right after the break.